Hi, Dr. Larry here with the No Gas 2 conversion electric car. About 6 years ago, I decided to undertake this project simply because I thought it would be something pretty useful. I'm going to show you some of the components that go into making an electric car conversion. Okay, first of all, the car is 84 volts DC current. And what I have here are two deep cycle marine batteries you'll see up here in the engine compartment that are hooked in parallel to one another. I have 7 sets of parallel batteries that are hooked in series that come up with the 84 volts. The reason that I parallel the batteries is to give additional amp hour capacity. That translates to greater range. Now, this device here that you see is called the throttle sensor. The throttle sensor is controlled by a cable that's hooked to the accelerator on the driver's side there. And when you press on the accelerator, it pushes down on this arm right here and sends a signal to this here voltage controller that tells the motor how fast to go by regulating the DC current to the electric motor. Now, you're not going to be able to see the electric motor under there because the batteries and the chargers are in the way. But I have 4 batteries up front in the engine compartment along with 2 chargers. Behind the seat, I have 3 other batteries, and in the trunk, I have the remainder batteries. I'll show you those in just a moment. Now, there are 2 cooling fans, one here and one over here by the controller. And the reason for those is sometimes when you're out, especially in the summer, things get pretty warm from pulling all of that power. And so I can flip those fans on with a manual toggle switch inside and send a little air down to the motor and send a little air over the voltage controller. That's just something I decided to do. I don't know if it's recommended or not, but that's what I did. And when you let up on the accelerator, the engine basically stops or is freewheeling, and you can just put the car in the next gear and apply pressure again on the accelerator, and we're increasing our speed. We're now up to 35 and climbing, and I'm taking it easy. I could go a lot faster, but I don't want to get a ticket here. Okay, before I open the trunk to show you the remaining batteries and chargers, you'll notice that there are 6 solar panels on the back of the trunk lid. Now, most people would say those solar panels aren't charging the batteries to any useful extent, and that is exactly true. But the reason that the batteries or the solar panels are on the trunk lid is to provide a little stirring action sulfation to the batteries when the car is sitting in between charges. You see, deep cycle batteries have a notorious reputation for sulfating their plates when they're just sitting and doing nothing. And that sulfation keeps the process of generating electricity from occurring because it causes a film to form on the plates in the sulfuric acid. And so the sulfuric acid doesn't reach the plates and no current is being produced. So that's the reason that they're there. If you keep the batteries stirring, the sulfation action will actually be reduced, and therefore in theory give you longer battery life. I put a prop here because of those panels on the lid, it makes the trunk lid a little heavy and doesn't want to stay up on its own. One of the things I carry here with me all the time is a battery tester, and what I do, this is a load tester, and it allows me to test the battery load when I feel that I may have a battery going bad. Now the rest of the chargers are here mounted on a board which is sitting on top of the rest of the batteries, which you can see here under the board. Total of 15 batteries. This particular battery right here is the utility battery used for the 12-volt applications on the car, such as the windshield wipers, the headlights, the radio, and all the 12-volt applications. The 84 volts on the car is totally isolated from the 12-volt car. They are not connected in any way. I've kept that totally isolated from one another. So there you have it. A little closer look at No Gas 2. And let me go over here. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit so you can see how this all works. Now, where the fuel used to go in is now an electrical cord. And what I do is I plug in right at the street. I have a outlet built right into the curb of the house here, and just plug it in, and usually charging overnight, and we're ready to go again. Okay, here's something I wanted to show you. It's the first time I've introduced it to anyone on YouTube or even on the No Gas 2 car website, is that this is going to be a full behind trailer, extended range trailer that will allow No Gas 2 to charge on the run, basically. And I'm going to show you actually what's under here. Okay, I'm going to raise this up here. Now this is a project that's in process, so it's not completed, but as you can see, there is a 17 horse IC Briggs & Stratton engine, and it's key started by a battery here and an alternator over here, which just isn't quite mounted up yet. The alternator is a 60 amp alternator that will be turned by the 17 horse engine, and the alternator will put out 140 volts because the alternator is unregulated, and I'm going to plug that right into the battery pack. Now, unlike the individual chargers that are charging the batteries in the car, this particular alternator will charge the batteries in the car as a single pack at 60 amp rate, and all of those will be controlled over here by the voltmeter and amp meter that you see here. So it's still in the process. The little trailer, I bought it off of Harbor Freight, and kind of got everything all wired up there. Got it licensed for the road, as you can see here, and it's got the tail lights and everything on it. And over here we have sitting on it. Now the trailer is very light. All the weight is going to be right over the axle there, so it's going to pull it very easily. So I don't expect this to be too much of a strain on the batteries because of the easiness that it pulls down the road. So anyway, that's the process. That's the next project for the all-electric car, and it's going to be the extended range trailer that will allow the car to go places that I normally couldn't take it on a single charge. I think the project is pretty neat.